How do I find a new job? How can I make a career change? And the biggest question of all, can I really find a career that I love? Hey, my name is Jen Smith, and I believe career success doesn't have to be at the expense of living a radiantly happy and healthy lifestyle. As a former HR leader and recruiter turned career coach, I get what companies are looking for when hiring top talent. What that means for you is an unmatched combination of insider knowledge and the best kept secrets about making heart-based career changes and navigating the ups and downs of job searching in today's world of work. Whether you're a recent graduate navigating the job market for the first time or a seasoned professional ready for a career change, this show is for you. So grab your coffee or your kombucha, pull up a seat, and get ready to be challenged and inspired to move beyond your self-doubt and take the right next steps towards landing a career you love. Because you deserve a long, radiantly happy and healthy career. This is the Flourish Careers Podcast. Hello, and welcome back to the Flourish Careers Podcast. I'm Jen Smith, your host, and I'm so excited to be with you today to kick off season 6. I hope you enjoyed our special summer series, 5 Minutes to Flourish. I've heard your feedback, and I'm thrilled that you've embraced the concept. It's interesting to me that over the summer, when those episodes were running, at the same time, I was reading Julia Cameron's book called The Artist's Way, which I highly recommend if you're seeking inspiration or feeling stuck. And throughout the book, she emphasizes that while we often focus on the big picture of a project or a career change in our case, the real progress comes from taking many small steps that lead to a significant leap. So this reinforced with me that so many of us struggle with this, and I can't even begin to imagine how many projects or career changes are never even started because the thought of something big is so incredibly daunting. So because of that and feeling inspired by your feedback, I'm excited to continue this idea throughout season 6. So at the end of each episode, we're going to introduce a 5 Minutes to Flourish call to action by inviting you to spend just 5 minutes on something related to your career change or a new project. I hope to encourage all of us to take tiny, actionable, and impactful steps towards our goals each week. So join me in making this season one of growth and transformation, one tiny step at a time. As I was preparing for our new season, I got to thinking about this fascinating concept that was thrown my way when I was working on a project, and it's called the fresh start effect. Have you heard of this? It's a psychological phenomenon where we feel more motivated to pursue our goals and make positive changes at the beginning of a new period. Now, you might think of New Year's resolutions. This is kind of the obvious one. This could also be the start of a new day, a new week, a month, or even after a personal milestone like a birthday, or in our case, a new podcast season. So these landmarks create a sense of a clean slate, and it makes it easier for us to set aside the past and then adopt new behaviors and a fresh mindset. So today, we're going to explore how you can use the fresh start effect to boost your career forward at any time. We don't need to wait till New Year's Day to start planning our career change. So I want to start with a story from a beloved community member, Jordan. Jordan just turned 40 and decided that after 15 years in the retail industry, it was time for a significant career shift. Like many beloved clients in this community who reached significant milestone birthdays, Jordan felt that his 40th birthday milestone marked this perfect moment to pursue a path that he had always wanted, which was really a career in health and wellness. Jordan had this very successful career as a project manager, but it was in the retail industry. So he oversaw store openings and closures in a couple different big, huge product launches. But he was really craving something that was more aligned with his personal interest in health and wellness. So as he celebrated his 40th birthday, he reached out to me and resolved to transfer this project management background that he had into the wellness industry. So he really wanted to manage either wellness programs or initiatives or products. Now, if you know anything about my philosophy around career planning and heart-based career planning, a big piece of that is alignment with your interests or how you want to make an impact. And you can do that by working in an industry that's interesting to you. So this is a really good example of that. Now, I have to say, this transition for Jordan was not an overnight change, but it was very thoughtful, and it involved the 3 strategic areas that I work with folks on planning and mapping when they're ready for a change. So if you're considering a change, the 3 big buckets to think about that Jordan thought about were 1, the experiences he needed to gain in this new industry, the people he needed to collaborate with or meet, and then any education associated with meeting these new goals. And so from there, we created a plan. So to bridge the gap between industries, Jordan volunteered to manage a project at this local wellness center. So they were launching this new idea to bring kind of like nutritional and clean eating programs and classes to the center. So Jordan volunteered to support this project and used his experience as a project manager, launching new products in this case, to help launch this new program. Now, he didn't have the experience in the wellness industry, but he used those transferable skills to gain experience in this new industry. As luck would have it, as he worked on volunteering for this project, he collaborated. I would call them somewhat of an influencer in the clean eating space. And that opened doors to this entire new network of people for him. And then to enhance his credibility in health and wellness, it was more about learning the language of this new industry. And so he wanted to pursue a certification, and he went with a certification in wellness leadership through an online course. And this was a really big step for him because it helped him learn the language. And while he was taking that program, he collaborated with one of his classmates on an article that was featured online. And so that added to his experience and built his credibility. Now, I want to just say here real quick that there are so many ways to learn through online courses these days. So I call these micro-credentials. I actually collaborated on an article about micro-credentials within her site, and I'll add that to the show notes. But a lot of times people want to make a change, and there's this big daunting goal of having to go back to school. Nowadays, with micro-credentials and all these micro-learnings out there, you do not have to go back to school. So figure out the critical elements you need to learn and then build those into your plan. Once he had all of this new experiences and this new network, when it came time to making the shift more permanently, Jordan ended up negotiating a part-time consulting role with his retail employer. So that arrangement allowed him the flexibility to pursue this new opportunity in wellness, but he didn't completely forfeit his financial security. And it allowed him to gradually build this new career while maintaining that steady income. And I will tell you that strategy has worked for many folks within this community. So Jordan's strategic approach to changing industries as he turned 40 showcases how the fresh start effect can inspire not just a new job, but a complete career change, leveraging existing skills and in a new, fulfilling context. Personally, quick story on my side, the fresh start effect had a profound impact on me as I launched Flourish Careers. So this was 5-ish years ago. It was the dawn of a new decade, 2020. I was filled with excitement, believing that it was going to be the best year ever. I was wrapping up my corporate role at the end of December 2019, and stepped into a new decade as a solopreneur, igniting this incredible surge of energy and just redefining everything in my lifestyle. Now, we all know what unfolded in 2020, but for me, it turned out to be a huge blessing in disguise because I had more time and energy to support people navigating job loss and rethinking their career paths and companies closing and all the things that happened throughout 2020. And that allowed me to offer guidance during an unprecedented time of change. So those are two quick examples of the fresh start effect. Let's explore this concept a little more. So first, recognizing the natural fresh starts. So we talked about New Year's, we talked about a birthday, we talked about a new decade, but the fresh start effect can be triggered at any new beginning in your life. So if you think about it, it could be a new project at work that stirs up some excitement. It might be a shift in team dynamics that refreshes the group's energy. I was talking to somebody recently who relocated to a different office, and that brought this sense of a fresh start. All of this can act as this catalyst for the fresh start effect. Personally, I love the change of seasons, and that marks a very natural time to embrace new beginnings and set heart-based goals and intentions, which aligns beautifully with what some people might refer to as quarterly strategic planning. And I have to say, it's not a coincidence that season 6 of the podcast is launching right around the fall equinox, a natural new beginning. I also like to start each new week and the dawn of a new day as an opportunity for a fresh start. There's something inherently special and motivating about turning the page to a new chapter. And these moments, again, they psychologically distance us from past habits or things that didn't go quite right, and it provides a clean slate to move forward with renewed energy and focus. Fresh starts also allow us an opportunity to define specific intentions. So the momentum from a fresh start, much like Jordan did when he turned 40 and shifted from retail to wellness, can be a powerful catalyst for change. Setting specific intentions that significantly enhance your focus and effectiveness when you find yourself at the beginning of a new chapter. So whether that's changing industries or simply starting a new month. You could do some fun things too. So think about every new month and maybe you set a theme for a new month that aligns with your goals for the quarter or for the year. So something like networking November or skill building September. So these themed months can make your goals more memorable and then also help you funnel your activities toward a specific aspect of your professional development and make it a little fun. Similarly, at the start of each week, you could pause for a few minutes to define your top 3 priorities for the week. Again, this is going to give you focus and help you funnel your energy. It could look like finalizing a project proposal, or maybe reaching out to 3 new contacts in your desired industry, or dedicating time to learn a new software that's critical for your career change. Regardless of the scope, having this clear target is really crucial. It helps to organize your efforts, amplify your commitment, and it makes it even more likely that you're going to see the tangible results. And by continuously doing this, setting and revisiting these intentions, you create a framework and a cycle that adapts and grows with your career aspirations. Now, of course, the fresh start effect generates momentum, but the hard part is keeping the energy alive. So we all know that rush of excitement when we embark on a new project or start a fresh chapter. It's exhilarating. But as time passes, that initial enthusiasm can sometimes start to dwindle. The key here is to maintain that momentum and strategically break down your larger goals into smaller, more manageable tasks and keep that top of mind. So for example, if your big goal is to become a leader in your industry, start by setting weekly or monthly tasks like writing blog posts or attending events. Each of these small tasks at the start of a new week or the start of a new month contributes to that larger goal, and it's a step forward. A powerful way to keep your goals front and center is by creating heart art. Now, I know I recorded a quick episode about this over the summer, but this isn't just about writing down your goals. There's some type of transformation that happens when you turn them into a piece of art or a visual. It resonates with your emotions and your aspirations at a deeper level. So you can start by identifying your key intentions and think about them in symbols, colors, or words, and then bring them to life in any kind of artistic form. It could be a sketch, it could be a digital graphic, or even some cutouts from a magazine. The process is creative, and it also helps you internalize your goals. And then once your heart art is ready, you can place it in your workspace. And then you have this visual cue and this visual reminder of your goals. And then it also beautifies your space and keeps these intentions top of mind. Now, if this concept is interesting to you, you're going to want to tune in next week for a very special guest who's going to dive deeper into this concept and so much more. So don't miss next week. Another way to keep the momentum of a fresh start is to initiate fresh start rituals. Now, rituals are a powerful way to kind of transform ordinary things or ordinary actions into meaningful moments. I like to think of them as combining or weaving intention and purpose into our actions. And they almost make them kind of sacred and also help provide clarity amidst our chaos of everyday life. So let's talk a little bit about rituals and moments to celebrate and mark fresh starts. You might consider a weekly opening and closing ritual. So maybe at the start of each week, you create space that feels very inspirational. So you could turn up your favorite music, grab your coffee or your tea, and set aside just a few minutes, 15 or 30 minutes, to clear your mind and set the tone for the week ahead. So during this ritual, you can set your intentions for 3 key priorities you want to get done for the week. These could be tasks or goals. And then once you've accomplished them, it's going to make you feel fulfilled. I always recommend declaring a delight, so some type of small treat or activity to look forward to. This could be anything from a special coffee to a planned walk and talk in the park with a friend. These are all things that are going to nourish your mind, body, and spirit. #nourish to flourish. Now, once you have your opening ritual, you can also have a closing ritual. So maybe at the end of the week, you again turn on some music and spend another 15 minutes reflecting on the week. I like to capture an I did it list. So noting and writing down 3 or 4 or 5 things that you're most proud of accomplishing. This not only boosts your sense of achievement, but it also helps you recognize your progress. And that is key to momentum. So many times we just go from day to day, week to week, and we don't even pause to recognize what we've accomplished. And then I always like to say, anything that doesn't get completed, you just smoothly flow that into the next week's agenda. You don't get down on yourself. Life happens. We just move things and flow things to the next week. So by incorporating these rituals into your routine, you not only mark new beginnings in sort of a celebratory manner, but you also ground your week in purpose and anticipation. These practices will help you maintain that cycle of motivation and achievement, making each week structured and flexible and maybe even a little bit fun. Now, speaking of rituals, 5 minutes to flourish is a ritual to help you maintain momentum and the fresh start of each day. So with that, this week, I'd love to invite you to dedicate just 5 minutes to pinpointing an upcoming fresh start in your professional life. Maybe it's the beginning of a new project or the start of a new financial quarter. Once you've identified it, consider selecting a goal to focus on and write it down where you're going to see it every day. This simple action can prepare you for a successful fresh start. So, in summary, today we discussed how to effectively utilize the fresh start effect to boost your career. We learned how to identify fresh start opportunities, the importance of setting clear intentions, and strategies for sustaining momentum. Remember, each new beginning is a chance to move forward and closer to your heart-based path. I have to tell you what's to come as we move into season 6 of the Flourish Careers podcast. In October, we're kicking off a 3-part series called Letting Go. These episodes are going to talk about some of the most common barriers to professional and personal growth. So letting go of perfectionism, people-pleasing, and procrastination. Can anyone relate? I know both hands are up here. Also in October, we're celebrating 100 episodes. That's right, we're approaching a significant milestone with our 100th episode, and I'm overjoyed to celebrate this with you and have a fun episode to mark the occasion. And I'm especially excited to get back to our monthly guest episode segments, Flourishing Together. I have some very special guests lined up starting next week, and I am sure they're going to spark fresh ideas and equip you with the tools to flourish in your career. Thank you so much for tuning in, and as we venture into season 6 and embrace the crisp beginnings of the autumn season, let's channel the energy of the fresh start effect to propel us toward our heart-based career paths. That's all for today. I'll talk to you next time.